Hello friends, let's discuss current affairs. We begin with a question on the newest infrastructure marvel in India, the Viringam or Virinjam International Seaport. It's here, you could find it here. Now what is this about? This is in Kerala, as you can see here, it's down south here. And this is India's first deep water transshipment port. It is located right at the bottom, just near Trivandrum, about 20 kilometers from Trivandrum, which, as you know, is now called Thiruvananthapuram, the capital of Kerala. This is 10 kilometers, just 10 kilometers north of, the east-west, seaway. This is one of the world's most important seaways. You can see that it actually connects this east-west, seaway connects East Asia, especially China, Japan, through the Malacca Straits here, and of course it goes via the Red Sea through the Gulf, Suez Canal, through the Mediterranean Sea into Europe, and the eastern coast of United States, major trade areas. So this could, they say that, change the game for a lot of ships that could take break here and load, unload ships, because it's transshipment. Now the thing here is, India has 12 major ports, and these 12 major ports, there are 6 on either coast, each coast. Here you would start with, of course the map does not permit us to go with white, let's use red. Okay, I'll just start with the west coast now. Here you would find a place called Kandla. Kandla is one of India's biggest ports. This is in Gujarat. Kandla port is now called Deen Dayal Port. It's called Deen Dayal Port. So now one, Kandla. Mumbai is home to 2 ports, Mumbai Port Trust and Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust. So 2 and 3 there. We have in Goa, Mormugao. So I'll put 4 here, rank 4, not rank, serial number, Mormugao in Goa. 5 is New Mangaluru, which is in South Karnataka. New Mangalore or New Mangalore. 6 is in Kochi. So there are 6 major ports on the west coast of India, and this would be the transshipment port, Virinjam. Now this is Malayali name, so if I've got the pronunciation incorrect, kindly forgive me. Now you take a U-turn here, you would find the 7th major port in India, which is called Toothukudi or Tuticorin. This port is now called M.V. Chidambaranar. It's called Chidambaranar port. Okay, but the place is Toothukudi. You could write with an H here. 8 Chennai. Then 9. Because of the rapid congestion high congestion at Chennai port, the government of India built a new port. Just north of Chennai, it's called Ennore, which is now called, the port has a name, Kamarajar. So that's 3 major ports in Tamil Nadu there. 10th is here in Visakhapatnam. This is the 10th one. Okay, between Visakhapatnam and the next port, the 12th port, that lies in the, so 10 is Visakhapatnam here. 11th we come to Paradeep, which is, as you know, in Odisha. Okay, 12th is Kolkata port, which is called Shama Prasad Mukherjee port. So additional information, plenty of additional information has come to you, my friends, that there are 12 major ports in India, and we listed all of them. Okay, there we go. This port has been built, Virinjam has been built by the Adani group. Where? Let's go to football. Now all of these places in Europe, major footballing nations like Spain, Portugal, Germany, France, Britain, they all have their own leagues, football leagues. And the Spanish football league is called Copa del Rey. This is also called the Spanish Cup or the King's Cup. It has been won by Barcelona this time. The final was won by Barcelona, and the runner-up was Real Madrid. Real Madrid. That's the Spanish way of pronouncing it. You can say Real Madrid. Now, this tournament was started in 1903, so it's a pretty old tournament, my friends. In fact, it's the oldest football tournament in Spain. Okay, so and who has had the most titles till date? Barcelona. I think Barcelona has won 32 titles in the history of this game. In this tournament, Barcelona has won the most titles, 32, which again, a record. Which space agency has assumed the lead role of the international charter space and major disasters for 6 months? The answer is highlighted there, ISRO, our own space agency. But what exactly is international charter space and major disasters? See, there are a lot of natural disasters happening all over the world all the time. Let's say there is a massive flood in some part of the world. It would be pretty tough for relief agencies to know, which part of the, region, where the disaster has taken place, to cater to where people need to be saved, where people need to be taken care of in terms of access to food, medical aid and everything. So what happens here is that these, all of them, in fact, these space agencies, they take satellite data and give it free of charge as a charity. In charity, they give it to relief agencies. So which they could, the relief agencies can then use the data to access those, to navigate through those tough areas, where the flood has taken place, or there has been massive drought or landslide, stuff like that. So ISRO has taken, leadership of this for 6 months. Roscosmos is Russia's space agency. China National Space Administration is China's space agency. JAXA is Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency. NASA, as you would know, is National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Okay. The book titled Beyond the Courtroom is related to the distinguished Indian jurist named the Great Fali Nariman. The Great Fali Nariman was an advocate. He is considered one of the world's lead. He was at the time, he was around. He died sometime last year, I guess. He was considered a world leading authority on international arbitration. And he was the additional Solicitor General of India between 1972 to, sorry, I'll also use white here. Yeah. He was the additional Solicitor General of India between 1972 to 75. As soon as the emergency was declared, he also resigned. And, he received the Padma Vibhushan in, if I'm not wrong, 2007. 2007. He was also a Rajya Sabha MP between 1999 to 2005. Okay. So Rajya Sabha MP in this term, Padma Vibhushan, and during this time he was the additional Solicitor General of India. So his son, Nariman, basically, of his son, I don't exactly remember his name. He was a Supreme Court judge as well. Okay. Which company posted record revenues in financial year 2024-25 and became the first Indian company to cross 10 lakh crore in total equity? What is total equity? Total assets minus total liabilities, total equity. Reliance Industries has the total equity of, they have assets, 10 lakh crore assets more than their liabilities. So you can see the sheer size of it, my friends. As of today, its turnover was, when I say this, the last financial year, $120 billion. $120 billion was the turnover of Reliance Industries. Comes to almost 10 lakh crore rupees. Yeah. Mukesh Dheeraj Lal Hirachand Ambani. Mukesh Dheeraj Lal Ambani is a chairman and managing director. Mukesh D. Ambani. D stands for Dheeraj Lal, his papa's name. Okay. So, it is a massive company. About 7% of India's total merchandise exports come from Reliance Industries. Yeah. HDFC Bank, the CEO is Sashidhar Jagdishan. SBI, Challa Srinivasulu Shetty. TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, has a CEO named Kriti Vasan. Coming to Adani Group, you all know Gautam Adani runs the show here. Okay, so there we go, guys. From here to the World Badminton Forum, or Badminton, World Federation. Badminton World Federation has a new, president. That's Patama. I wouldn't even know how to pronounce this Thai name. Yeah, but anyway, we'll go with. I don't want to really go with the name. Patama Leeswatrakul is the new president of the, Badminton World Federation. Now, where is it headquartered? This is headquartered in a place called, KL, Kuala Lumpur, which, as you know, is one of the two capitals of Malaysia. The second capital is Putrajaya. Okay. So, would you want to know the capitals of these places here? Leaders, I mean, there are too many things here. Leaders you could know actually, yeah. But let's stick to, what we say, capitals. Singapore City, Vietnam, Hanoi, HANOI, China, Beijing, Indonesia, Jakarta, Thailand, of course, is has a capital in Bangkok. The 2025 World Intellectual Property Day is observed on 26th April under the theme IP and Music Feel the Beat of IP. Music piracy is one of the world's most extensive acts of piracy. In fact, I think it's the most pirated thing, music piracy. Someone makes a music, someone else steals it. Someone actually, streams it on Spotify for paid. It's a paid service, let's say, but someone downloads it illegally. So, I mean, this is a running thing. Yeah, there is software piracy. Most, common piracy is this particular one, music piracy. And, it was celebrated by WIPO, which is the World Intellectual Property Organization. Let me repeat, World Intellectual Property Organization. This was started in 1967, and it's headquartered in a place called Geneva, which, as you know, is in Switzerland. And ladies and gentlemen, it's headed by a Singaporean named Darren Tang. Okay, that's about it. There's barely anything more that you need to know about WIPO. India's forex reserves reached almost $688 billion. That's a lot of reserves, isn't it? Which is part of the forex reserves. All of them are part of forex reserves. Now, I want you to know, while these are all parts of the forex reserves, which countries have foreign exchange. But today we have $688 billion, my friends. Just around the time we started the new economic policy in 1991, we had $800 million in foreign exchange reserves. Let's make it $1 billion. $1 billion is what we had in those days. This would have been sufficient for us to, this $1 billion would have been sufficient for us to pay for about 4 weeks of imports. After that, we would have gone bankrupt. Yeah. But then today we have $688 billion of foreign exchange. Which countries have great foreign exchange reserves, highest foreign exchange? China. China's foreign exchange reserves, okay, let's rank them. So, we will not put a dot here, okay. China's foreign exchange reserves, I will tell you as of, this is today's 9th of May, okay, 2025. This is as of, 30th April. 30th April, this is the last available data. China's foreign exchange reserves are this, $3 to $7 billion. You may find the number to be different in different sources, but take the number like this. This is USD billion. USD billion, my friends. That is United States billion dollars. $3,271 billion. That's China. Japan, I'm writing in short, $1,238 billion. Okay. 3. Switzerland. Yes, you read it right. $952 billion. 4 India, 688, 5 to the dismay of Western Europe and United States, Russia, $620 billion. The top 5 foreign exchange reserves. So today $688 billion would go a long way in ensuring that we have adequate money to pay for at least 10 months of imports, my friends. That's a lot of money, my friends. That's a lot of money. Okay. So all the data, these are all authentic data, my friends. Let's go to the next one. As per the data released by the Reserve Bank of India, India's total exports have touched an all-time high of $825 billion. I've rounded off $825 billion. Of this, about $387 billion, okay, $387 billion is what we call services exports, services. The rest is merchandise. Rest is merchandise. That's a lot of things. Things have improved. Things are bad right now. There has been global slowdown, and consequently and importantly, there is this war happening between India and Pakistan. People may call it a local war, people may call it a skirmish, people may call it whatever they want to call it, but the things are not looking up in the right way. So if things persist like this, things may go really bad for the economy, my friends. But as of today, this is the status. $387 billion of this number is India's total services exports. The rest are all merchandise. Okay. So, China is the world's largest exporter. What, about $3,500 billion worth of exports. Yeah, that's a lot of exports. According to CIPRI's trends in world military expenditure, now everything you see that, while the numbers aren't there, wherever the numbers aren't there, I'm bringing in numbers so that you have data intensive talk. Yeah, we all have a data intensive talk. CIPRI is Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. Okay. According to CIPRI's trends in world military expenditure 2024, India was a fifth largest military expenditure budget, military spender. So, what are the numbers, actual numbers? The top, the highest amount of money spent on military was by United States. Again, USD billion dollars, USD billion dollars, USD billion. United States last year spent $997 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, that's almost 1 trillion. 1 trillion is 1,000 billion. So that's all already there. The United States already there. 2. China. Officially, China has a budget of $314 billion. This is official because it is believed that, I spent more than 2 decades learning about China, and I can tell you that they could be spending somewhere close to $700 billion. Yeah, because they are like, they would tell us something that we know to be incorrect. But that's China. Third was, Russia. Russia spent $149 billion, especially in the wake of the war against Ukraine. 4, Germany, $88 billion. India in the 5th place. What does it say? 86 billion. It does not say anything, but this is a number. It's 86.1, so I took 86. The top 5 military expenditures in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I given you the top 5 here. Okay. So from here, let's go to the next one. Name the new global initiative launched with the goal to scale up effective community-led marine protected areas through local action. Now, the revive our ocean, I went to the website, I looked it up and I found some interesting data. What it says is that, 40% of the humanity lives along coastlines. 40%. 40% live along coastline. 3 billion people, we have what, a little over 8, almost 9 billion people, they live on seafood. They consume what comes out of the sea. Amazing. Yeah, these numbers tell us that, oceans are very important. Unless we preserve our oceans, unless we preserve the marine life in the oceans, things are going to get pretty bad, my friends. Think of all the people like fishermen, people who live in coastal areas. Without a healthy ocean, things will get bad for them. Okay, so who was awarded Fiji's highest honor, the Companion of the Order of Fiji, by its president Nathu or Ratu Naikama? It is Madhusudan Sai. He is known to be king of charity and a philanthropist. He started a hospital there in that part of the world. It's called Sri Satya Sai Free, Sri Satya Sai, hospital. Uh, it provides free treatment to kids. All kinds of treatments for kids are free. All. Advanced diseases, dangerous diseases, not so dangerous diseases, everything, all kinds of treatments are free for kids. They could belong to any country in the area in South Pacific. That's a lot of thing, my friends, isn't it? So Fiji has recognized this man. This one more thing I want to tell you is that Fiji is if you look at Australia like this, okay, this is Australia, this is Fiji here, this is New Zealand, okay, there is Fiji here. 37, nearly 35, 32, 37% of the country's population is of Indian origin. Between 1810 and 1910, hundreds of Indians, thousands of Indians were taken away by the British to work in distant colonies. And one of the colonies they had was Fiji. So they took these guys here, and some came here voluntarily by their own choice, and they began to work as bonded labor, free labor and all. People settled here, today those descendants of the people who went there in the 19th century, they make for about 34 to 37% of the population. Yeah, and Madhusudan Sai is one of them. Its capital is Suva. Fiji's capital is Suva. Okay, Kailash Satyarthi, Nobel laureate. He received the Nobel Prize for peace. Okay, for his work, in freeing children from bonded labor and all that. Great man, of course. The other three, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, Jaggi Vasudev, and Baba Ramdev. I will not go further. Who has become the youngest centurion after he scored 100 runs in 35 balls to register the second fastest century? Vaibhav Suryavanshi, my friends. See, cricket is not something that I would like to discuss in this class, because once we start, cricket is a national pastime and we just, it will consume our talk basically. So we'll stay there. Okay. Vaibhav Suryavanshi, as you know, plays for Rajasthan Royals. Yeah. From May 1st, 2025, the RBI has mandated the exclusive use of Prabha portal by all regulated entities, all of them. Now, why Prabha? Prabha is flow. Yeah, a lot of companies need licenses, permissions to engage in certain activities. So the RBI says financial companies, NBFCs, non-banking financial services companies, all kinds of companies like this, they would need to log on to Prava, put it in an application. There is a single point of contact with the RBI through which all who desire certain permissions, applications, everything, they could get them here. They could get through this. So it's a single point of contact for licenses, approvals, and permissions. Okay. In the aftermath of the Pahalgam terrorist attack and amid tensions with Pakistan, who will head the revamped National Security Advisory Board? It is Alok Joshi, ex-chairperson of, ex-secretary of RAW. See, the RAW, the CIA has a director. All intelligence agencies the world over have a director or the chief or something. The RAW is very peculiar. The RAW does not have a separate head office. It's what is called, it's called RAW. Yeah, we call it RAW, Research and Analysis Wing. Okay, but technically it is this. This is the name, Research and Analysis Wing. But the head of the RAW is called this, Secretary R. In the Prime Minister's office in the North Block somewhere, he sits like this. Secretary R, R is raw. Okay, he was earlier, see Vikram Sood, Alok Joshi, Samantha Goyal, these are all guys who headed the RAW, which is India's external spy agencies. Spy agency. America has the CIA. America has 17 spy agencies. CIA is one of them, and MI6, Military Intelligence 6, which is Britain's spy agency. Mossad, MOSSAD, which is Israeli spy agency. Okay. So, all of them. Now, this guy has come back and he is heading NSAB. Okay. So, Swadeshi, sorry, it is Swedish, not Swadeshi. It's the exact opposite of what Swadeshi is, isn't it? It's foreign. Swedish home furnishings retailer IKEA has opened a new kind of store. Plan and order point in India. It's in Bengaluru. Let me tell you a little about IKEA. Okay, IKEA, Ingvar Kamprad. He is a founder of this company. Swedish fellow. Okay, he founded this company. Ingvar Kamprad. This E stands for Elmtard. Is it Elmtard? What is this? It's a farmhouse. It's a farmhouse where Ingvar Kamprad was born. This is where he was born. Okay. Now, Agunna Ard. Agunna Ard is a hometown of IK. Hometown of IK. That's how the name comes. Okay. It's a 45 to $48 billion company. 45, 46 you make it, yeah, $1 billion company. It's headquartered in two places. One is Delft and the other is Leiden. Both of which are in Netherlands. Though it's a Swedish company, for tax reasons, they are headquartered in Netherlands, my friends. Okay. So, plenty of stuff again for you guys there. Which company has launched its first internet satellites under Project Kuiper? Amazon has launched. Amazon wants to get into the satellite broadband business in remote locations. Satellites could beam broadband connectivity to places below. SpaceX already has Starlink. What is it? It already has Starlink. It's come to India also, Starlink now. Okay. So, Amazon is coming under Project Kuiper. This Virgin Galactic is owned by a man called Richard Branson. He's a billionaire chairperson of Virgin Group. Okay. Boeing is an aerospace and defense manufacturer. So is Lockheed Martin. It makes the F-35, F-16, Starlink, SpaceX owns Starlink group of satellites, everything, broadband connectivity through satellites. Now, one thing you need to know is SpaceX is Space Exploration, Corporation, Space Exploration, Aerospace Exploration Corporation. Who has been re-elected as the Prime Minister of Canada? Mark Carney. He was destined to lose, but destiny again played truant with Donald Trump, because Donald Trump made all the noises that alienated the the Canadian voters from the Conservative Party. He was a left. This guy is a left liberal. His party won it because Donald Trump insisted that Canada become the 51st state of the United States. Okay. But anyway, Carney is now back. He had replaced Justin Trudeau in the last term, and now he's been re-elected for a 5-year term. Christopher Luxon is the Prime Minister of New Zealand. Anthony Albanese, Australia. Again, he has won. There is Mexican President. Keir Starmer, British Prime Minister or UK. UK. Yeah, UK. So all of them have come here, my friends. With which nation did Ukraine sign a deal guaranteeing it access to rare earth minerals in exchange for reconstruction fund? See, for long after Donald Trump had come to power, he had been pushing for a minerals deal with Ukraine. And Ukraine said that we will give you this deal provided you give us security guarantees that, if Russia would attack us again, or, against Russia, we need security guarantees that you would protect our sovereignty and everything. Through the deal has gone through, but America has refused to give any security guarantees. Though it has been, the deal is more or less a win-win for both Ukraine and the United States. Through the deal, they are going to have a joint investment reconstruction fund, and the investment will come from the US as well. They are going to scour mineral resources, mineral areas, but you need to understand something, that some of the where to dig for minerals, where the minerals would be found, how much could be taken, will be decided by Ukraine. Okay, so Ukraine retains the rights of over the land. It's called subsoil, and the minerals themselves. But again, the fine tuning has to be there. The critics have not been very kind to Ukraine, but some critics have not been kind to Donald Trump either. Okay, but let's see where it goes from here, because see, the Americans have refused to give any security guarantees, and second thing is, of course, the Ukrainians have lost 20% of territory to Russia. Yeah. Ukraine's president, his capital is Kiev. You can also write it as Kiev. Okay. Volodymyr Zelensky. This is the name of the president of this country. Okay. Russia's prime minister, you all know the president's name. What's the name of the president? Vladimir Putin. The prime minister is Mikhail Mishustin. Mikhail Mishustin. Okay, that's the prime minister. Former national coach and Dronacharya awardee Professor Sunny Thomas. Why professor? Because he was a teacher of English literature, my friends. Yeah, epic, isn't it? Dronacharya awardee, a Dronacharya coach, an archery, world class athlete. He was an English professor, yeah, in Kerala, and look at this, not archery, I'm sorry, shooting. Yeah, I'm so sorry. He was the coach of the Indian shooting team between 1993 and 2012. Yeah, 2012. The Indian shooting team under his leadership had won during this time 108 gold medals. Can you believe this? 108 gold medals. Amazing, isn't it? He passed away recently, and in 2001, if I'm not wrong, he received the Dronacharya Award, which is given to the best coaches India has produced. Yeah. So that's about it. But amazing, na? Read a bit about Professor Sunny Thomas as well. Yeah. That's all from me, my friends. Have a lot of fun. Thank you for being here. Stay curious.